Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for participating in our webinar on navigating the early career landscape as an international trainee. My name is Suelen Oliveira. I am originally from Brazil, and I'm currently an assistant professor at the University of Illinois Chicago, working with pulmonary arterial hypertension. And most of us know that navigating the early career landscape as an international trainee can be complex, especially because on top of the difficulties that being an early career professional already has, we have other differences such as culture, language, and sometimes opportunities in place. All this can add another layer of complexity to our career. So thinking about this, the ATS, Pulmonary Circulation, Early Career Working Professionals, have decided to bring a discussion with a diverse group, including senior, middle, and early career researchers, to share their perspectives and remind us that science is a collective effort that goes well beyond the borders, and that by leveraging our scientific knowledge together, we can drive the changes for a better health, not only the US, but also globally. So with that, I'm very honored to share today's webinar with so many talented people. And to make this a little bit more informal and enjoyable for all of us, I will pass the word around, starting with our invited panelists, Dr. Dylan and Dr. Birukov, and after with Dr. Sheng and Yuan. So Dr. Dylan or Dr. Birukov, you can start by introducing yourselves.
Ladies first.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Navneet Dhillon, and I'm professor at University of Kansas Medical Center, and I'm originally from India and did my PhD there and moved here at KUMC, Kansas Medical Center as postdoc. And then I've always been here and now got into tenure track position and then reached to a professor level where I'm now. I have an open lab. I have a big lab working on vascular injury and HIV, looking at the interactions of HIV infection and drugs of abuse. And happy to initiate this discussion and give some insight what I experienced, and maybe that will be helpful for you all.
Yeah, hi, I'm Konstantin Birukov. I'm also a first generation US citizen. So I got my MD PhD in Moscow, Russia, and moved a long time ago to US. Again, started from postdoc, doctoral fellow, moving through all stages of academic development. Right now, I'm professor at the University of Maryland in Baltimore, dealing with molecular and cellular aspects of acute lung injury, regulation of endothelial function in health and disease, and I have been having lab for a couple of decades now, and that was always a multinational lab. I've been working with postdoctoral fellows and research associates from many countries, including China, Thailand, India, Ukraine, Russia, Austria, and local fellows as well. So, and we developed this multinational country and different religions as well. So we happen to be friends and establish good relationships. So, and we can talk about how it works later on.
Okay, thank you so much. Yuan? Yuan?
Yep. Hi, can you hear me, guys? Yeah. Sorry, I just unmuted myself. My name is Yifan Yuan. I was born in China and got the bachelor degree in China, and then went to Canada to do my master degree and PhD degree in biomedical engineering and also cell biology. And then went to Yale University for my postdoc, actually in a clinical department. And then I just joined University of Maryland, Baltimore, as a tenure track assistant professor last fall. And I'm kind of very new here. And so my work is on long vascular tissue engineering and using the engineering technique and also multi-omics techniques. Happy to answer any question today. So, and especially for the trainees.
Thank you
Hi,
so
everyone.
much. Oh,
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Junjun Shen. Everyone call me Steve. You can call me either way. I similar to Ifan, I also got my bachelor degree in China, and I came to US for my master's and PhD programs. I started my excuse me. I started my postdoctoral training since 2017, starting from University of Pittsburgh, and then went to UC Davis. Right now, I'm starting my next round of postdoctoral training at University of Delaware for biomedical engineering. I think it's a very good a good arrangement of different steps of us with different phase of career. I'm still a postdoc, and hope that someone's question will be relevant to that I can also answer at the same time. Thanks.
thank you so much, everyone, for the nice introduction. I forgot to mention in the beginning that this is supposed to be informal. So if you want to ask questions through the chat, you can just add your questions in there. If you want to just chime in and speak, you can raise your hands, and we are going to give the opportunity to ask your questions. But since I don't see questions at this moment, we can start by discussing a little bit what would be the most challenging parts of each one's career, the most challenging things that you have faced up to now. And maybe I can even start. As a Brazilian, I think English is not a language that we learn a lot in Brazil. It's not so common that it's like many people don't know to speak English. And it's very different from Portuguese. Portuguese has many words compared to English, but we have many differences in words and some words and that have similar sound, but not necessarily. Anyway, and I believe everyone with different language has the same challenges. But I feel, although now I feel more confident about that, I believe in the beginning that was a huge challenge. And I think everybody had to face something similar to that. And I tried to overcome this. I tried to engage myself with opportunities in here to improve my speaking and my writing. And I think that will be a lifetime exercise. And yeah, so I think the language in the beginning was really, really challenging. But I don't know what everyone else has as a major challenge.
I actually pretty agree with with you. To my understanding, language itself, if you're just talking about learning and writing, it might not be a predominant problem, but all my trainings, except for right now, all my mentors are all international background. So it is a little bit hard for me especially when I first came to the US, to understand, to communicate well with my mentors. Because we all have very different background, and the way that we speak and the accent that we use, especially for first learners, international students, it's pretty hard. But I think the way that I kind of facing this problem is just to open myself and talk to my mentors, especially my mentors, because I need to understand what they really mean. I have some of the I have some experiences that I thought I understand, but actually the way that I understood is actually incorrect. And that leads to some problems. So I believe for me as a trainee, I think what I really recommend to do is to talk to my mentors in multiple ways, or even show them what I want to do on a paper or on email to make sure that what we just talked is what I thought.
I totally agree with what you guys said, and this is the same thing. Like for me, and like the language is one of the important obstacle I have faced, and so talking about that is basically conversation to your PI. And I have multiple PIs before, and with different kind of background. I actually also like have a kind of a different kind of background from bioengineering, cell biology, and computer science, and all the things altogether. So basically, changing the mindset is well, I think the communication and also like the using different language is more like the mindset. So you basically need to adjust your mindset, but to do that, we need to basically open up and talk to people, and don't shy to talk to people. And another thing is don't shy to ask questions, and no question is stupid. So just ask a question. The people are very respectful here, so they can help you very easily, and you can basically improve yourself easily. And another thing, another very important obstacle I have faced is the status. So I know that like I basically came here with a visa, and but with the visa, and if you want to apply for a scholarship or grants, they have a lot of the limitations. We don't have a lot of kind of opportunity, but if we want to stay in academia, and it's very important to get the money. So I think one of the major thing is while you do your research, spend a lot of time doing research, but don't forget to get your status, the permanent residence or green card, if you try to stay in academia in the United States or in Canada, or like in different countries. So.
Yeah, I agree to this one. That was the biggest challenge for me as well, to get green card, and so that I could apply to most of the funding proposals when I was transitioning from postdoc to faculty position, or even for a beginner grant. Most of the, like especially NIH, we cannot, for the fellowships, we cannot apply if we don't have a green card. And so the biggest challenge in the beginning was to publish as much as, so that we can apply, have a good application to apply for green card. So we had to really work hard in the beginning, and then and finally start with small grants. So I didn't know much about it, and I think the things when I was a postdoc were very different from what the situation is now. We have more social media, we have more awareness. At that time when we were there, we were in our own shell, in our own lab, and whatever we faced, we thought this is part of it. We never spoke, we were scared, and so there were not many possibilities to go around and ask around. So we worked hard, but now I think there's, with more awareness, I think there are many foundation grants, especially for us, like in pulmonary circulation field, American Heart Association, American Lung Association, that don't require any green cards. You can apply still with visa. And so then there's a Parker B. Francis Fellowship that also I think I encourage people to apply. I think they are now more lenient. Earlier, green card was required, but I think now I heard that they are allowing people who don't have green card also to apply. So starting with small grants, and then getting that will help also for the green card, I think. So that was the biggest challenge I faced, I think. And also regarding the language thing, yes, I think initially, I think maybe I was hesitant to ask questions in the beginning, because we were not confident. We always feel out of the place, and and then developing imposter syndrome type of thing. But I think I'm very happy that we are talking about these things now. These days, we are talking about inclusivity, diversity, which was not, these were not the topics when I was doing postdoc. So I think we are in great environment, and I hope better in future as well.
I also wanted to echo on Steve's remark about what international student understand, is what he thinks is right, maybe not that right. And it's part of cultural differences, cultural kind of education and traditions. And some kind of nationalities kind of hate to show weakness or vulnerability, and they hide. If they don't know something, they hide it and try to make the best, to look the best. And that is, in my opinion, a very wrong way, because if you hide your vulnerabilities and weaknesses, you will not get advice on, what's going on and how it can be overcome. So, of course, different mentors are all different, but I guess if particular mentor selected you and he trusted you at the very beginning, and you come and you have failure by failure, but you don't, open up and do not explain what's going on, it will get even worse. So it's better to come and say, listen, maybe I don't understand something, or maybe I don't know this part, where can I learn it? And I'm going to do this, this, and that. Do you think this is the right way? So that feedback between you and your mentor is critical, both for your kind of academic success and for your project, but also for your academic development.
Thank you so much. This is really nice advice from everyone. I see one comment in the box saying that from Mateus, he is mentioning that he agrees with me that in Brazil it's not very common to learn English, and we don't have like many opportunities. So again, with the language challenging. And I see that Lee has raised their hands.
Yes, actually I have a question. So my
Yes.
name is Lee Sunja. I'm from UC Davis. Actually, I'm in the same lab with Steve Shen before, and now Steve just transferred to University of Delaware. So as a young early career researcher, I'm trying to apply for like the small grants for the career development award, and I tried once, but according to the feedback from the comments, and the reviewers are concerned about the topic of the study. They comment that there is an overlap. So my topic is like an extension of my mentor's ongoing hour-long. Is that is like so they were concerned about the independence of my future career development. So my question is like how different, how is like totally different topic I have to do, or is it allowable that I can do something like related with the work I'm currently doing? So it's very, because if I like started like totally new project, is like super lot of work to do. I'm not sure.
It's a very common comment which
Yeah.
reviewers make always. Maybe Dr. Birukov, you would like to answer first, or
Well, this is eternal question about independence, and it doesn't start from postdoc. It goes all the way up to research assistant professors. Right now, kind of NIH works on kind of eliminating this question about independence, and they're talking about more about quality of the project and promise for this particular applicant to be succeed in this project and see his future career. And in some applications, it's not even allowed to talk about independence, right? Yeah. So on the other hand, you cannot start from scratch if you're fresh, young person coming to the lab. You definitely start with project that is kind of initiated by your mentor, but you have to be kind of inventive and creative to make it going in a slightly different direction. And you have concerns about it, you can kind of explicitly explain in your application why this project is different and how is it different, and you know, try to convince that your mentor is not going to go in that direction. So it's something going different way. And I also encourage, you know, to have some second project in your pocket. It may be more challenging, but it's what one of my postdocs from Ukraine was calling Friday night experiments. So when you stay longer and you know, you try test something, and maybe something will go out of it.
Thank you so much.
I would like to add here. I think I faced the same question when I submitted my proposal. And I think career development awards, mostly they are not that independent. They are still in the area matches so that mentor can mentor you actually. But you can, means how I made it possible was like, I was looking at some signaling mechanisms in one disease model as a postdoc. Then I used the same signaling thing and started looking in another disease model to look at, and have developed my own area, and slowly starting with a small grant as an independent grant. However, then it was a different challenge that I faced because I didn't know anybody in that area, starting a new area. So that was like building a network in that area, not coming from a group which was working on that disease. I work on pulmonary hypertension. So I had to work double to, publish in that field and to get grants in the field. So, but slowly, I think in this field, we have to be perseverant, and then actually we end up having success. So.
Thank you.
I don't know. I also have a comment about this. I think, and it goes back to the good communication with your mentor, because I still have a really nice relationship with my postdoctoral mentor, and I feel I don't remember who said now that it's important that you talk, I want to go into this direction and try to establish sometimes it's not possible, but sometimes depending on the relationship, you can actually say, no, I want to take this small piece of my research into my independent career. And sometimes it's also possible that funny things happens. For example, I worked with schistosomiasis during my studies in Brazil, and I came here to work with acute lung injury, and I got, the research got moved into the direction of pulmonary arterial hypertension, which can be caused by schistosomiasis. So it was not my initial plan, but if you get into a point that you can actually try connecting all your background into something unique that will be, your signature, it would be ideal. But of course, is considering all the other challenges that we have, visa and all the things, the language, the culture, and all this, it becomes really, really difficult. But of course, it is possible.
Thank you.
I want to add one point because I know Li Feng for a long time, and we share the same mentor, my previous mentor. And probably there's one thing I didn't tell him about my journey of getting my K99 award. It was not smooth because my first 2 attempts that I discussed with her, she agrees and she encouraged me to work on this project, but both of them failed for different reasons. But the good thing is you keep communicating with your mentor, and finally, it's not only you working on this project. Actually, she and you both are working on this project, and finally, you will find the best one that fits in your goal and fits in the goal of reviewers, thinking that it is an independent enough project. So that is my journey I want to share with you at this time.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
For the independence question, so I echo on the point. Sulan was making on on the background is basically integrating your own background with the project, and also integrating your own background with the lab's expertise. So basically, by doing that, you might develop something something like for yourself. For example, like my background is on vascular biology, and my postdoc lab is lung tissue engineering. So basically, I integrate these two together and basically trying to draft a proposal on lung vascular tissue engineering. So, and also from this small point, I did develop like using this to develop some kind of model to study lung vascular disease rather than my previous lab doing engineer lung to study the whole lung disease. So something like that. So more like combining your own background with the existent of expertise.
Thank you, Yifan. Thank you.
So I don't see other question. I don't know if it has somebody else with the hands. No. So I have actually another question that maybe all of us can discuss about how to find mentors. You know, if you are planning to come to perform your postdoctoral studies, or even if you are here and you are thinking about changing fields, if anyone has like strategies that you would like to share that would help international scholars. So I can share my experience. So I got, when I was finishing my PhD studies, I knew that I want to give a different perspective to my research with schistosomiasis, mostly working with the mesenteric system. And I decided that I want to continue my work with endothelial cells in a new system. And then I start looking for mentors that would be working on this subject, and then start contacting them to possible interviews. And I know this sounds really basic, but I have got this question before from other people. So I don't know if anybody else has anything about mentorship to share.
Yeah, I think when, especially when we are in the transition phase and looking for an independent grant, and you found your niche of, maybe background expertise and what you're doing with as a postdoc. After that, maybe what I did when I said that I wanted to have my own area in pulmonary hypertension while I was working on neurodegenerative disease as a postdoc. I mean, I started small, like going to the conferences and meeting those people, and showing my work, and then also while publishing, asking their expertise, and then working with them and developing that relationship, and then they became my mentors, not officially, but to work in the field, not like as a postdoc mentor, but also while we are working on the grants, we need, I would like to emphasize here that external mentor is very important, other than from your institute, which I didn't know when I was at that stage. I think that's very helpful. They can guide you. Your mentor at this institute is important, but I think external mentor is also very important to overall help you in your career goals, whatever it could be,
Thank you, Navneet. Someone is actually asking if ResearchGate is a good platform to find mentors. Mateus is asking. I personally, to be honest, I don't. I think a combination of ResearchGate with LinkedIn and, of course, with the publications would be the best way, but I don't know if anybody has another suggestion.
I would say just email people and reach out to them who you think will be better for you. Mostly people reply.
And if you have good relationships with your current mentor, it's also a good idea to communicate with your mentor. And if he knows about your plans to leave the lab, and if he feels okay about it, and you're on good terms, then he will be very helpful for you to find something in that same area of research.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really good too.
Yeah, that's really a good point, because that's what actually like I did before. Like my mentor basically give me some list of a mentor I should look for if I want to study like lung vascular biology or lung tissue engineering. So, and then reach out and with my previous mentor's name, and basically we can get to know each other quite easily.
Yeah, and I don't know what everyone thinks. I think it's good to keep like open mind when talking about mentors, because I think independent of the career stage, always having mentors is a good thing. It's a helpful thing. And sometimes you can find mentors that are much more advanced than you, and can find mentors that are a little bit just a little bit in front of you, I would say, not the best word, but it's good to have more options, different perspectives that you can actually advance your career. So,
And for next mentor, it's always great to have some face contact. So introduce yourself. If you have chance to attend specialty conferences or congresses, that's the way, the best spot to communicate with people, get prepared in advance, find who's coming and what they're doing, and so just stop by the posters or after the talks, and have just informal conversation. So that really helps.
Yeah, I also agree that in my stage, technically I am completely relying on all my mentors, including my PhD mentor and my previous postdoctoral mentors, who actually actively recommend potential job opportunities for me. I think for international trainees who are already here, keeping a very good relationship with your mentors are important. If you haven't come here, you just came, it will be a good chance for you to develop a new relationship with a new mentor in the United States, who will be your future career support for sure. That's my suggestion.
so we don't have any questions. Yeah, let me open my questions. Anything that any of you would give as an advice to say, oh, if I could do this all over again, I would not do this specific thing? I know it could be many things, it could be nothing. Some people just would do everything all over again. I think that's my case. But I don't know if someone has something that would say, no, if I knew, I would have taken a different approach, or...
Yeah. I can say that I have always been here at University of Kansas Medical Center. Things have worked for me, yes, but I wish I had external mentor and to talk to, and maybe move move to another institute at the right time. I think that helps. I've always been here, so there are advantages, disadvantages, and I have my personal reasons as well to stay here. So I have no regrets, but I wish we had planned some things in a way that we could have moved when it was the right time for me, that would have benefited my career. So being a postdoc and being in the same institute, you miss some things, privileges, I think, which are moving to a new institute when you have good funding. I think I wish I had done that.
Yeah, this is a good advice. And I don't know if anybody else has any other suggestion in this, but I think at least to me, it was not, sometimes in Brazil, it's not that common that you move to another institution.
Yeah.
It's common that you stay and you have like multi-lab PIs is something that happens a lot. So when I start thinking about my next step, when I was finishing my postdoc, And people were like, oh, you cannot stay in the same institution. Oh, you should stay. Oh, you should not stay. So I stayed. I'm still in the same institution, and I don't see this as a problem at all, because I don't know, and it's not definitive. We can always change and move as things goes. Of course, it becomes easier or difficult depending on what you have, what your background or grant funding. But I don't see as a problem as some people would speculate. So
yeah, I just mentioned, I think it would have benefited, but then again, we have to see our personal things, options as well. Like I had kids that I don't want to change school, so I stayed where I did my postdoc. So that's not a problem. But I mean, you have always it's a good. What I overall heard from other people is that it's better to move. It will increase your network. You will have more opportunities, because if being in the same institute, maybe your network is limited, you know.
Yes.
So, but then as I mentioned, things were different when I was a postdoc to things now. So it's easy to use all these media that we have now to network. So things have. Other thing, I think being, as you mentioned, that coming from Brazil and me coming from India, we are raised in a way that we have this standard approach there, like, you know, you go, this is assistant professor, this is associate professor, you have same salary and everything is same, everybody gets. And we are not means raised to, okay, we can ask something, or, you know, that we can negotiate something. So I never did that. Nobody taught me, you know. I think that's a big thing which I think we are not raised like that.
Excellent point.
Yeah, so we always hesitate to ask, and that's what I never asked what I was deserving at that time, and then I cannot go back now. So I think we have to learn those things.
I wonder if attending trainees can kind of send us, you know, a tip or whatever, to let us know what topics they expected, you know, to be discussed, or maybe what questions they were worried about, what prompted them to join this meeting. It would be really helpful. You can either ask a question or text. For example, I want to hear more about this or about that.
Yeah, that's a good point. It has one comment here from Ankit. Hello, everyone. In order to sustain in academia after the postdoc, is it the impact factor of a publication of our paper with substantial and pertinent research content matters more? So what matters more, the impact factor or like a paper that has a substantial content? Yes,
it's about how cited, how many times this paper cited, and if you receive any feedback about that paper, and you know, that's important. And if you're, you know, author number 7 in the manuscript of 25 persons, 25 authors, it also matters. You have to be kind of visible in that paper. And if it's, you know, Nature paper and you're in the middle of 24 authors, it will not help you. It has to be something that, you know, stands you out of your group.
Yeah, I think first author publications matter a lot, like main contributing author.
And I think the point that Birkov mentioned about the citation is very important, right? Because some people are so concerned about impact factors, and of course it has a positive side, but you can have a publication with not that huge impact factor that has a lot of exposure because the topic is interesting. And as you both talked, it is going to give you visibility. So of course, is a hard decision to do, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another like thing I'm thinking about is it depends on the field you're in. Like, because some of the field there are small kind of communities, so the impact factor or the citation both are kind of low, but you do contribute significantly in the field. So it's also varies because of depends on the field.
Yeah, someone is also asking about the startup funding. I believe based on our discussion on staying or leaving the institution, how would be the challenge? And I think that goes back to our what Navneet mentioned about learning how to negotiate.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you or Dr. Birukov wants to talk more about this negotiation skills.
I'm not the best negotiator, I can tell you right away. But going back to my kind of background culture, it was not a culture of trading or negotiations, back that times. So I was kind of more modest, more open, and kind of fair to my potential employers. But here in the United States, the system is slightly different.
Yeah.
What is really important, if you try to negotiate and looking for another position in different university, make sure that you will not become enemies with your current mentor, number one. Number two, don't try to blackmail your current mentor by saying that I will go and I have a very good offer, but in fact, you're not going to take it. Because if you say something like that, you must be ready to take that offer.
Mhm.
Because otherwise, you will be in a very dangerous situation.
Yeah, that's really
I
nice advice.
totally agree.
Sorry, Dr. Dillon, you can go ahead.
No, I said I totally agree with all the points that just mentioned. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's challenging, and I agree, since it's not something, at least it's not cultural, maybe in the scientific field in Brazil, at least in academia, because the structure is very different. You don't get a position by negotiating in a public institution in Brazil. You do have to pass and written, oral, and you have many steps, and it's a public, open, everyone, it's different. You do have to stand in terms of your research and your ability to teach, because both things are connected a lot in Brazil, but we don't learn that. So I think that is something we would be a first thing to start learning if you are interested to stay in the United States to work with research, or maybe with other in other fields.
Yeah, it's very hard to learn those things. It depends on your nature as well. Like, I was told, okay, go and get something and counter offer and all those. I was like, I don't want to if I don't know I won't be moving, right? So it's difficult, but it's good to know that these things happen and then how we should approach it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of dependent on the status and your status. And I only had one like chance of negotiating, like negotiation. But what I learned is you got something, you lose something. So you cannot ask for everything. So nothing is perfect, and you have to balance a lot of things, not only like on the money, but also on the life, and also like work-life balance, and whether or not you want to like move over here. That kind of thing also matters, and also the environment and community. That's also very important. And also like it depends on the stage of your career, maybe early career, middle career, and established like people are very different in terms of the startup funding. So
That's true.
There's some questions in the chat box.
Yeah, we have, so Mateus is asking 2 questions. No silly questions, Mateus. You can ask whatever you want. On average, how many months do we have to stay in locum at the US to complete the postdoc graduation? This is the first question. And the second question, is there the possibility of doing a postdoc degree remotely? So I don't know if any of you want to answer.
About remotely, I'm fairly concerned that it's possible. But as far as to stay locum for the postdoc graduation, my understanding that is not this is not the must. You can complete your experimental work here and complete writing, in your home country or somewhere else, and come back for if there is any official thesis defense. I think you can still come for that particular moment, but maybe if one has different ideas. And Office of Education of doctoral studies, I guess can answer you better. This is a regulatory topic.
I think there's no limit of doing postdoc. I think mostly people think that after 5 years postdoc, one should not find something to become independent, right? So 3 to 5 years is an average. I think people do postdocs, but then people can do more until they find something to become independent.
Yeah,
and for the postdoc, yeah. So for the postdoc, you would want to do it remotely. Like I heard, postdoc, if you do only computational work, you can do it remotely. But I don't think it's possible to do that in different countries. But in different cities, that's possible.
Yeah, that's true, because you still have all the legislation between universities, and you do need to have an agreement to perform, this, I would say, perform studies in another country as you were. So yeah, you wouldn't have. But of course, I think someone mentioned about the award opportunities, that some of them are already allowing that some people can apply even before they get into the position. So I know American Heart Association has opened that. I'm not sure about other societies, but it's possible that if you find a mentor first that has this type of agreement and has the interest to initiate mentoring you before you actually get here, I think that would be a possibility.
But seeking for such opportunities will be your last resort. It's always best if you are talking about fellowships or everything else. You should be in the United States.
Yeah, I think you have to have some visa status. That's a requirement.
Yeah, so I have the H-1B visa. My experience that it is required for me to have a transportation, local transportation area range to be in the postdoctoral position. Otherwise, my H-1B visa that affiliated to that university will not be granted anymore.
Yeah. So we have 5 minutes left. I don't know if anybody else wants to ask anything to the panelists and to us.
I think Zhiyu has a question that posted here. I can read for you. He asked how to establish the collaboration as an earlier career investigator with other senior investigators. What approach do you take?
I think I mentioned earlier, like I just met them at the conference, whoever I was interested to meet and wanted to collaborate and showed my work, engage them in my research idea, and then go from there from publication, and then we can and from if you think that they can be a collaborators on the grants. Yes, I think networking conference is the main platform where we can meet people and collaborate. And I think Dr. Birkov mentioned about finding before going to the conference topic or people you are interested to meet, and then maybe it will be good to email them beforehand and talk about the time to meet, and you can have that a formal meeting as well, if possible, if a mentor is or if person is free. And I think there are, Swellen, I think ATS has networking program, right? Where you can have at any level mentors, they will match you. I think.
Yes, they have mentor and mentee. Yeah, I think it's if you leverage the opportunities that many societies have, even through the webinars like this one and others, I think is a way at least to start identifying some people that you can interact. And as we talked in the beginning, I think don't be afraid to speak up, even if your English is not perfect, or even if you feel shy, or if you are shy in English, but not shy in your own native language. But yeah, this is about to being open to new experiences. So
there are different levels of collaboration. For example, plasmid DNA exchange is also kind of sort of collaboration, which is quite simple. And if you kind of ask for plasmid DNA, you do some experiments, and then you communicate with your senior investigator and put him in your paper, or maybe ask for some advice. That would be a next level of collaboration, and then that may help you establish relationships for the future.
Yeah, that's a very nice suggestion as well. Start with something more simple than planning like a big experiment, like just exchanging some reagents and getting to know how the collaboration moves ahead. So we are really close to our final time. So I will leave just the opportunity to the panelists give a last word and before we finish.
Yeah, I think it was great to be here and share our experiences. And feel free if anybody else has any question or if I could be of any help, please shoot an email, and happy to help in any way I can. And I think the big thing that I learned in my career is there will be rejections all the time, many rejections. We just have to be perseverance, and finally I think we'll achieve what we want to.
Yeah, I hope that that discussion was helpful for trainee attendees, and I guess Swellen and the organizing team will be happier to hear feedback and potential maybe questions about whether or not this type of session is needed for the future, and what questions can be discussed.
Good point. So Shane and Yuan, do you want to give a final words before we finish?
Sure. So yeah, it's very good to thank you for having me over here and to talk to people about like as an international trainee. And so like only thing basically the one of the biggest thing I learned is we need to speak up and don't be shy, because I'm very shy. I was very shy, but I'm still shy, but still I'm getting better on it. So, but that definitely like very helpful. So that's the lesson I learned. I want to pass it to the audience here.
And I want to add one more word to promote to come and participate in ATS programs, because I think this is one of my my way to counter my problems that I just facing people in the conferences face to face. So it will be easier to get what you know and get to people you want to talk to. And ATS is really a good opportunity to find all sorts of mentors or your peers to talk about your career and your work.
Yeah, I think that's all very nice advice. I wish I could have the opportunity to hear all this when I started. I hope the people that joined us had enjoyed our webinar. And if you have any further question, you can contact any of us, and we will be happy to answer to the best of our knowledge. So I think with that, we are finished, and we see you in the next webinar.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.